Here we are in the great outdoors of the Strouch Casa, and another review video. This might, besides the star test, it might be the last review video of the year. Sounds kind of crazy to say, but I thought I'd come to you from the outdoors. Ecology, a lot to do with outdoors, of course. So anyway, a little different setting for you. Ecology, obviously, is a very broad topic, as you've probably noticed over the last 2.5 weeks. So we'll kind of start out where we did and kind of go through some things. Really, the test, looking at it, I was having copies made, so I didn't bring one home with me. But remembering when I built the test, it's a lot of situations. There's a bunch about the symbiotic relationships, as far as mutualism and parasitism and commensalism. There's different situations where you have to say, which one it is. It gives you some different, pyramids you have to interpret. Don't forget, when you're looking at those, especially if it's an energy pyramid or even a biomass pyramid, remember the 10% rule. So, there's only 10% of the energy or biomass available to the next trophic level. And again, a lot of that is lost as heat. That's a big thing we stressed kind of throughout the chapter, that when energy is transferred through the ecosystems, that yes, the organism is going to use some of it, but a lot of it's lost as heat back into the atmosphere. So that's definitely something to remember. Don't forget trophic levels. Producers would be the first trophic level. The first consumer would be the second trophic level. The second consumer would be the third trophic level, and so on and so on and so on. The kind of order of operations, so to say, or kind of hierarchy of ecology. You could go, you have the biosphere where all living things exist on Earth, and then you have biomes, and then ecosystems. And then communities and populations, and then species would be kind of the most specific thing. So remember, a species is a group of organisms that can interbreed and produce fertile offspring. Population is a group of species living in the same area. Community is a bunch of different species living in the same area. And then finally, ecosystem would be adding in all the abiotic factors into the ecosystem. So remember, abiotic means non-living, and biotic then would mean living. I'm trying to think what else. We talked about succession for a little bit. Succession, remember, there's two different ones. There's primary succession, and then there's secondary succession. So secondary succession the example would be like a forest fire, to where there's still soil on the ground, but the trees and everything would be, have to kind of start over. So it would be a very young, forest at the beginning of that time. Don't forget, also with succession, you have like the pioneer species. The pioneer species is the group or the organism that kind of first comes back in after the event. So let's say for primary succession, lava spills out of a volcano and covers the ground. So that would be primary succession. It's bare rock. There's no soil there. So, the lichens and the mosses that first start growing on that bare rock, they would be the pioneer species. Okay. So that's succession. Don't forget, food chains, food webs, all that should be pretty easy for you. The symbiotic relationships, like I said, mutualism, both things are being helped. Commensalism, one's helped, one is left alone. Parasitism, one is helped, one is harmed, actually. Okay, and then obviously you have like predation. If a lion is hunting a gazelle, that would be predation. Other quick things. Biomagnification. Don't forget about the lab we did, and how you saw that as you went up the trophic level, the poisons or the toxins actually get stronger. So that's definitely something to remember. And that idea again is called biomagnification. The last kind of part we talked about was population science and how there's two different types of growth you can have. You can have exponential growth where our conditions are ideal and things are really rocking and rolling for the species. And then you could have logistic growth where it kind of reaches that it grows exponentially for a while and then it reaches that what's called the carrying capacity. So don't forget about the carrying capacity. Carrying capacity is the amount of organisms that an ecosystem can support, basically, and support in a healthy way. As you saw in the lesson of the kaibab when you did your homework the other night, when the kaibab deer population went above the carrying capacity, it ravaged the land, and it didn't. So the land ended up not being able to even to support the original amount of kaibab. So going above that carrying capacity is kind of a dangerous thing. Other things I'm trying to think. If you have questions, obviously come find me in the morning. It's a Thursday, so I definitely should be there. Don't have duty or anything. It's a lot of vocabulary. That's why we did the review activity today, which I'm just still very, very impressed with everybody. Y'all really took hold of that and did a great job. So we'll look to try and do more things like that, especially with the STAR test where we're having to do a lot of review type of games. So keep participating like that, and we'll keep doing that kind of stuff. So anyway, really I can't think of much else. Like I said, definitely look over your notes. You should have 2 sets of notes. I will say there's not a lot on biomes. I know that we kind of spent one day on biomes, but even the test when I built it, I didn't put a bunch of test questions on biomes. So I wouldn't waste a lot of time studying those. Look over your notes. Look over the vocab. Be on the review, especially make sure you know all the words that are on the review, and you should be good to go. I don't think there's dogs out here, but I don't see any kids, so I guess just another boring one with good old Strouch. Y'all have a great night. I will see y'all tomorrow.